And to talk about pathways, what it is and how to choose your path, is Christina Barbonio. Now, who better to talk about pathways than District 73's Pathways Coordinator, which is Christina's role this year. So Christina's been a Toastmaster since 2014, and her home club is Greater City Geelong Toastmasters. Christina's currently working on two paths, leadership development and engaging humour. She's been providing online support for Pathways and Easy Speak since 2018. Christina's a self-confessed IT geek and is extremely active. She loves walking, running, yoga, and cardio boxing, so look out. Now, with her session on pathways, please welcome Christina.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning again. Now, let me just get myself organized because I want to see everyone's reaction while I'm doing the presentation. So I'm just going to resize my Zoom and make sure I can do the presentation and see everyone side by side. All right. Raise your hand if you're new to Toastmasters. Can I see how many people are new in Toastmasters? Oh, this is good. This is great. Not you, Debbie. I see your hands. Definitely not you, Debbie. Okay, this is great. Now I'm more happy to present because last time I presented this, there were no new to Toastmasters. Most of the attendees are experts, seasoned Toastmasters. So it made me really, really nervous. But this one, so there's many new members to Toastmaster, which means I'm hoping I can offer you more. Now, pathways for new members to Toastmasters. We will discuss now. Today we will discuss what is pathways and how to choose your path. We will explore Basecamp, which is an online educational system. If you're familiar with LinkedIn, it's sort of similar. I'll give you some tips on how to complete your project and how to complete one level, which, as Sue mentioned before, counts towards your club's DCP points, which means you're contributing to the success of your club success. Let's dig in. So what is Toastmaster Pathways? Toastmaster Pathways is an educational system developed by Toastmasters. It builds confidence and leadership skills for Toastmasters members. Currently, it has 11 parts. So it's like going to the universities. So you get to choose which course. In Toastmaster environment, we call it path. So also like in going to a university, it has levels. So in Toastmaster path, we have 5 levels. Level 1 is like going to a university, your first year. This one is, we call it level 1, mastering fundamentals. So all the 11 paths, meaning courses, they have the same level 1, mastering for fundamentals, which compose of icebreaker, evaluation and feedback project, and research and presenting. And then you have level 2. In level 2, this is where you learn your style. Now, all the 11 parts, all the 11 cores in Toastmaster, it may vary, depends on your chosen paths. But they're sort of similar. It only varies from one project, I believe. And then you have the advanced level. You have the level 3, increasing knowledge, building skills for level 4, and demonstrating expertise. Now, level 3, 4, 5, you get to choose the elective. For level 3, you have the required electives is only 2. So there's heaps of projects that you can choose from. I encourage you as a new member to explore these electives and choose which one you think you can develop skills from. So these are 5 levels in pathways. So there's 5 levels, in pathways. Just raise your hand if you have, or just speak freely if you have any question. I'm happy to stop for a while. Okay. So in pathways, there's 5 core competencies. So what is these core competencies? We call them skills that you develop. Depends on your, it depends on your path that you choose. As you see, public speaking and confidence, that's across all the paths. You will learn the public speaking skills and confidence in all 11 paths. As you do your project, you will learn how to prepare and deliver your speech to your club and outside the club environment. So that's how the public speaking and confidence builds from. And also the confidence is from self-evaluation. For every speech you make in your club environment, you get an evaluation. This is where you get the realization of your skills and weeks and what skills you need to develop on. However, if you want to develop more than the public speaking and confidence, you have the interpersonal communications or management or perhaps strategic leadership. Now, I'll give you a moment. Which of these skills that you're interested more? Are you after to develop your public speaking and confidence skills? Or perhaps you want to develop strategic leadership. You want to find out how to develop a vision and how to make a positive change in your club. Or perhaps you're more after management. Although one person can be a leader and a manager at the same time, there's different skills needed to become a manager. In Toastmaster environment, management skills is mostly in planning, organizing, and managing people to get an event, to get organized and a successful event. So have a think. Which one do you think are you interested? Public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and confidence. Just write your number. I'll give you 3 seconds. Because after this, I'll show you the 11 paths and I'll give you which one you can choose from. 3, 2, 1. Have you chosen your number? Yes, give me a thumbs up. Have you chosen your number? Okay, let's dig in. As I've mentioned in the beginning, we have 11 paths available at the moment. So these are all 11 paths. So think of it as a course when you go into a university. So there's a whole lot of options. There's so many options you can choose from. And then the 5 core competencies, the skill set. So the public speaking and confidence, as I said, it's all across all 11 paths. You will develop these skills, whichever path you choose. But however, if you only want to focus on these 2 skills set, these are your options: engaging humor or presentation mastery. These are 2 paths that focus on these specific skills, no other skill set. But if you want more than public speaking and confidence, if you want to develop your interpersonal communication skills, all the other paths, the 9 paths out of 11 is your options. So there's a whole lot of options there. So you can choose it from there. So is there anyone that wrote 2 in their number? Yeah. So these are, so actually if you want to develop your interpersonal communication, all 9 paths you can choose it from. So there's so many options for you. But if you want to develop your strategic leadership, now there's only 4 options for you. So anyone chose 4? Is there anyone chose 4 here? Raise your hand. No, no one wants strategic leadership. If you want strategic leadership, these are your path. You have the dynamic leadership, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, visionary communication, and strategic relationship. But if you want to develop management skills, These are your options: effective coaching, innovative planning, leadership development, and team collaboration. Anyone chose number 4 here? Yes. Yeah, I see a few hands. So these are your path. Lakshmi, I saw that you put your hands up. So did you chose the right path for you?
Yes, I'm doing effective coaching.
There you go. So you have the right path. For new members, it's worth to note that once you activated your path, you have 90 days to change your path. So for example, if you say, oh, I've chosen the path that focus on strategic leadership, and after a while you thought, oh, not really, I want to focus on management, then you can do that after 90 days. However, you don't have to worry about not developing skills on other course, because he said, oh, not all paths have all 5 skills. Well, there's an elective. So from level 3, 4, 5, there's a whole stacks of electives or projects that you can choose from. And doing your electives, it's actually going to help you build all the skills, all these core skills for Toastmaster. So that's all you that's all available in all 11 paths. Okay. Question so far? Do you have any question about pathways, about choosing path? No? Okay.
Sorry, yes, there was one here.
Yes.
So is it best approach to select competencies and then the pathway?
Say it again.
Is it best to select the competencies and then the pathway?
Best to select.
Of the 1 to 5.
Yes. I think, in my opinion, I think yes. It's best to know which competency you want to develop first. It's best to know. Most of our club new members, most of the new members, they wanting just to focus on public speaking and confidence, and hence the recommended path, which is the humorous, engaging humor and presentation mastery, is the default one. That's fine. But so
Fabulous.
yes.
And can you change the pathway each year?
No. No. You only have 90 days. Once you activated your path, you have 90 days to change your path. What you can do is you can buy new path, which extra you have to pay. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and that does lead into one of the questions here. How long is each pathway course? How long does it take? And does it attract any fees?
No. No. The Toastmaster is all self-paced. Some members can take as long as you want, but in average, correct me if I'm wrong, in average, I think the new pathways education, it takes around 1 to 2 years to complete. It depends how often your club meets and how often do you do your project. So because it's self-paced, it's all up to you. I see we have Michael Clancy here. Michael finished how many levels last year? So if you attend every Toastmaster club in your area, then you can finish your pathways in no time, really quickly. But it's totally up to you. Any more questions?
Yes. What about the projects should I be aware of with the complexity of them required at level 5?
Yes, I am going to discuss that in the project completion tips. Definitely. So when you choose a path, it's really recommended that you check out the other main projects, your level 3, specifically level 3, 4, 5 projects. Because when it goes from level 3, 4, and 5 projects, it gets complicated, and some of them takes a while. So I will discuss that that's part of my presentation. Do we have any more questions?
That's about it. There is just a request to get some notes on your talk afterwards, including the
Absolutely.
competencies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
absolutely. Happy to share.
Perfect.
Thank you, Danny. All right, let's continue. Okay, let's go to Toastmasters. So does our new members have visited the Toastmaster website? Yes? Okay. So that's great. So you go to toastmasters.org, simple. And this is our main website. This is what you see. And then I really hope this login, they just make it a little bit bigger. I just find it really small. Don't you think? It's just too small. And it's all the way to the top. It's really easy to miss. Anyway, so that at the very top, click the login link. Now, if you miss your email about your username and password, which a lot of new members I find they miss their email. Remember, you can always use the forgot password. And then it will ask for your email address. Now, sometimes your treasurer may have inputted the wrong email address. So when you enter your email address and it says it's not a recognized user, reach out to your club officers, either your VPE, your treasurer, or anyone in the club executive. They can check your email in the club central and see if it's the correct one. So just remember that. Anyway, so when you click the forgot password, it will ask for your email address and then it will send you an email to reset your password. So let's log in. So first up, for our new members, we need to choose and activate your path. So go to the path and choose a path. So this is the web page you're going to get. Select your preferred language, and there's a whole lot of available language in Pathways. You also have to get a chance to have a printed materials. However, if you choose to have a printed materials, please note that you have to pay extra $25 because of the shipping. And you would not get a chance to log into Basecamp, which has a whole lot of resources like videos, FAQs, everything. I would encourage you to choose the digital. I would encourage you to obtain the digital resources via Basecamp because you can print the material yourself. You don't have to pay extra and you have a whole lot of resources. Once you selected your preferred materials, then you can select your path. As I've mentioned before, the default path for everyone is a presentation mastery. It's because most of the members would want to develop their confidence and public speaking skills. So that's why the presentation mastery is right there. However, if you want more, it's either you can take the online assessment in which it will ask you a series of questions, and then at the end, it will recommend you 3 paths. Please note, it's only a recommendation. But if you already didn't know what core competency you want to develop, and you've already read all the path descriptions, and you think, actually, I already know which path I want to take, then you can view all the path options and select it from there. All right, and then click continue, and it will just go up to the end, and then you have your path. You have your path activated. You'll be ready to log into Basecamp. Okay. Has everyone here already activated their path, or they still thinking? Okay. Eva said, no, I haven't. Oh, you have? Okay. Is there anyone here hasn't activated their path? Jacob, still thinking. There you go. And Hannah. Good. So I hope this helps you to, to more familiarize about pathways and all the available options for you. All right. Let's explore Basecamp. Basecamp is the online learning for pathways where you can access all the materials for your path, your project, your evaluations, the videos, all the tutorials, all the FAQs. That is the Basecamp. So to log into the Basecamp, you need to click that welcome your name at the very top. And then once you log in, you just click that go button on the right, on the left side. And this is your Basecamp. So this is all the Basecamp. Now let's just explore a little bit. If you wish to go back to the main Toastmaster website, so note that the Basecamp URL is different from the Toastmaster website. So you would notice that if you go to the Basecamp, it's a different URL. So if you want to go back to the main Toastmaster website, so you can just click this little link. And this menu is available every time when you click, every time in the Basecamp. So you can always go back to the main homepage. All your available path is here. So in my case, I'm working on my engaging humor and leadership development paths. And on top of that, I have activated my Pathways Mentor program. So all my paths, all my learnings are available in this quick link in here. And if there's any suggested learning, you can see it here. If I haven't activated my Pathways Mentor program, it will show it here. And all speech evaluations are available here. So in the past, a lot of members find it hard to find all the speech evaluations. And then the tutorials and resources. So I do encourage our members to please visit the tutorials and resources. You'll find a lot of information in these tutorials. There's a tutorial videos. And then there's a frequently asked questions. And if you're a vice president of education, the president and the secretary of your club or secretary of your club, there's a helpful resources for Basecamp managers. Let's go back to the main homepage. So these three is also important. You can ask feedback, you can view your badges, and you can save your documents in Pathways if you want. It's not required, but if you want. Okay, some project completion tips. Paths, let's go to the path and learning to access my path. So to open a path, so just click open. And at the very first, this is what you will see. Everything is just 0. See, you can see 0, 0 completion. So this percentage shows the percentage of, as you finish each project, it will show how much you've already completed. So this will increase. And that shows all the level of your path. As I've said, there's 5 levels. And each path, you have to activate it before launching it. So you click activate and then click launch. So when you launch your icebreaker, you will see this is your project. This is where you actually read. This is where you see the videos, the questionnaires, everything, the resources where you can download your project. Click begin, and please note that arrow on the right side and the left side to navigate from each path. Okay, tip number 1 when completing your project, refer to the project checklist. I think a lot of members miss this. Always refer to your project checklist. It's either go to that navigation bar at the very bottom and then go to your assignment. Once you get there, you can see that project checklist. You can download that. That's a PDF. You can either print it or you can download it to your local PC. So you can refer it anytime. You don't have to go log into Toastmaster every time you need it. So you can download it in your local PC. Tip number 2, answer the assess your skills before. So you will get this screen, that before at the top. Now make sure when you answer from 1, 2, 3, 4, you click the next button, not the arrow button. Click the next button until the end, until you answer all the questions. Once you answer all the questions, don't forget to click submit, because a lot of members forget to click submit. You need to click the submit button. And then tip number 3, do the required tasks of the project. You can print your project, you can download it and print it. And finally, or not finally, once you've done your project, submit your skills after. So there's a before and after. So you get this screen, there's an after skills assessment, and then you have to answer all the questions and click next up to the end. And then don't forget to click submit. Once you click submit, your project is complete. And then when you go back to your base camp, you will see the project. It will change the status to completed. Okay, some project completion tips. Projects are not always just delivering speech. It's not just preparing and delivering speech. Some projects like evaluation and feedback, active listening, and make connections. These are just an example. These projects, it's not just about delivering speech. The first one, the evaluation and feedback project, it requires you to evaluate someone, and your evaluation will be evaluated by someone else, if that makes any sense. And then the active listening project, it requires you to be the table topics master during your club meeting, and someone will be evaluating you during that session. And then the make connections through networking. That project requires you to attend another networking event, and then you prepare a speech based on that experience. So you see, it's not just about delivering speech. There's some activities that you need to perform. Tip number 2, for our new members, start from level 1 because it gets, I admit, it gets overwhelming if you try to visit the other level. For our seasoned Toastmaster, go for it. Go for level 3, 4, and 5. For our new Toastmasters, just start from level 1, one project at a time, one task at a time. And level 3, you need to keep track of meeting roles. It requires there's certain roles that require to mark your level 3. There's the table topic master, the Toastmaster of the day, and then the evaluator. Let's go back to Basecamp. This is where you need to record your meeting roles. So you know that small gear at the very top right side. You click that, and then click the My Account. And then this is where you see. So you record the time or the date you perform the roles. And then once you have entered them, you click Save. So this is where you enter. You can only enter one role one time. It doesn't record multiple times you've performed the role. But the main thing is you need to perform this before you finish level 3. Tip number 4. Again, I couldn't stress it enough. Use the project checklist. Remember this? Use the project checklist. It will help you to identify what you need to do for your project. And tip number 5, check out your level 4 and 5. Once you finish level 1, 2, and 3, check out your level 4 and 5. Just have a look. What does it entail? Because some of them, it requires time. It takes time. There's some projects like manage successful events, high performance leadership project, or advanced mentoring project. This project requires 6 months, 3 to 6 months. So have a look. Some of the projects that some of your projects may require certain time, then you can plan accordingly. And it doesn't give you a shock.